What is up, everybody? Welcome to The Feast, episode 55, the show where you submit replays and we cast them. I am Delthius. How's it going, guys? I am in a great mood tonight, man. I'm hyped. I'm hyped to cast some replays, man. I missed out on Tuesday night. I just wasn't feeling good, man. And big shout out to Massive Stealth for covering for me, though. I was just going to cancel the show outright, but Massive Stealth stepped up and was like, you know what, man, I'll give it a shot, so... Good to see everybody again. Thanks for tuning in as always. I know everybody hates it when I drone on before we get to the show, but I do want to talk about a couple things since there's been a lot of cool stuff going on lately in the Tooth and Tail community. So let's get this started. I think I clicked this button. Yeah, there we go. Okay. All right, so a big new patch hit yesterday, and by the way, big shout out, guys. I appreciate it. I got like over 20 submissions, between the last 24 hours, so really cool. I had to beg in Discord a little bit, but that's not the biggest deal in the world. PS4 crossplay is now live. That's really cool to see, man. There should be a lot of fresh meat on the ladder for everybody to play against, and really cool for the PS4 guys to join. I'm sure the PC scene is probably bigger, so now we just got to get those PS4 players into the Discord, right? And everything will be good to go. So let me see. Oh, Miss Clicker with the raid, man. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Yeah, so we've got PS4, we've got Steam, and we've got GOG players. So everybody's finally in here together. I'm super happy about that. The leaderboards are still segregated, though, so you're only going to see leaderboards based on the platform that you're working on. And there's a new Discord game, the Pocket World, that Massive Stealth has been working on. And look at this beautiful map, man. Look at all that red. Looks so cool. So how this works, guys, it's just for fun, a little competitive rivalry. You can go to the bot playground in the Discord and type exclamation point Team Red or Team Blue or whichever team works for you. And then every time you win a game, you'll help your faction kind of take over the map of the world. So really cool to see, man. Looks like Red is Common Folk is kicking ass right now. I like that. I'm Team Red, man. So really cool. Check that out, guys. Just go to Bot Playground, sign up for one of those teams. It's pretty cool. I enjoy it. But one thing I do want to note, you actually have to have the Discord app downloaded for this to work. So keep that in mind. Because I was playing last night and I was yelling at Massive Stealth. I was like, dude, I'm winning all these games for Team Red. Where is it at? And I'm a scrub, man. I don't have Discord app downloaded, but I guess I will. Everybody said that's better, though. Like, it's less buggy, especially for voice chat and stuff like that. So if anybody should have it downloaded, it should probably be me, because every time I have a guest caster on, we're using Discord to do that. So another cool feature that Massive Stealth has released is the match board, so you can check that out in the Discord channel as well. It's just kind of a constant, shows you the ranked games that are being played, who's winning, who lost, those sorts of things. A couple new languages, that's pretty cool. But the big thing I want to go over here are the balance changes a little bit. So this first bullet point is a pretty big deal. It kind of eliminates structured tanking. So I'm really interested to see how that affects the replays tonight. Because, I mean, that's huge, man. We see that all the time. It's kind of a mechanic that high-level players figured out, like, oh, if I'm pushing an attack and I take a gristmill or I've got a couple, things building, they'll help soak some damage. So, I mean, they still will soak a little bit of damage for you, but not anywhere near as much as they used to. Commander Burrow time gets a little bit faster, a little quality of life change. I don't think that's super well. Actually, you know what? I don't want to discount that change, because you can kind of abuse when your opponent's trying to burrow home and sit there and attack them and stuff and mess them up. So being able to get home a little bit faster can make a difference. Now this one is pretty interesting. Reptiles and amphibians heal 3 times as fast in friendly territory. I like how they had to add amphibians because everybody was trolling because toads get the regen too. So that's interesting. I'm not so sure why it was selected to only be reptiles. Maybe that's just kind of a flavor thing. I think the biggest impact there is probably on the lizards and snakes. The snake is a pretty high HP unit. Oh, chameleon too, yeah, for sure. So I would actually say Chameleon Snake, that's the biggest impact. Heal those high HP units back up before you get them out in the fray again. Enemies can see what type of unit is building from all tier 3 warrants. I mean, we have a ton of major changes here on this patch. I mean, that is absolutely huge. It's a big deal knowing what tier 3 your opponent's going. I'm not so sure, to be honest, how much that's going to affect things, because I feel like, when you recognize your opponent's going for a tier 3, you kind of take similar steps regardless of what tier 3 that is, but I could be wrong. I mean, I think the biggest one there that really, you need those alarm bells ringing for is that Quick Fox, because if you don't answer that correctly, it can definitely devastate your forces. Lizard gets a little bit of an HP nerf. Mole gets a little bit less HP, but a little bit extra damage to structures, and a lot of tier 2 HP and tweaks in general. I'm not really going to name all of these, but little differences there. The boar HP going down, I think that's a pretty big change. I mean, 100 HP is still enormous. 120 was just insane. I like the barbed wire change, man. 28 HP, kind of encourage players to use that barbed wire a little more. And machine gun turret damage goes down a bit. That kind of hurts me because I love the versatility of the machine guns, but I can understand it. They are kind of a Swiss Army knife unit in Tooth and Tail. So, but man, I cannot believe. I'm gonna take a stance here, guys. I can't believe this change got made. Now listen, guys. Not Feast 54. That wasn't me. That was Matt's Stealth. But Feast 53, I made a bit of a fool of myself, overestimating the range of the arty cannon. It was a ferret shooting something. I kept saying it was a drum fire, but you know what? We all make mistakes. It's all good, man. But 10 range is absolutely insane. So I expect that is gonna impact these replays tonight for sure. So I'm really excited about all these changes, man. It's cool to keep the meta fresh, keep things revolving. I personally felt like the game was in a pretty decent balance state before this patch, but I agree with most of these changes. I don't think there's anything really wrong here. Besides, of course, the artillery cannon change, man. I can't get behind that one. But at the same time, it takes forever to build. It's 180 food. We'll see what happens there, but I have a feeling this one might get reverted, but I could be wrong. So then the last thing I want to go over is the Tooth and Tail Season 2 League is underway, and how this works is you've got Class S and Class A rankings here. I'm not sure what they call this last one. If somebody in the chat could let me know, please chime in. Maybe Class B or something like that. But how this works is every player in each of these groups is going to fight against every other player in the group in a best of 3, and I think the deadline is next Friday, so you got a little over a week to complete your league matches, and then from there I think it goes into a more proper tournament based on scores and stuff, but don't quote me there, I could be wrong, but I'm super excited, man. I managed to get Class S, so I'm happy, just barely. I'm just like right there, but you know what, I only did two of the qualifiers. It still got in there. Group SAB, yeah, Class B. That makes sense. Makes sense to me. So yeah, looking forward to this for sure. I do want to note, guys, do not send me replays from Tooth and Tail Season 2. Tooth and Tail League Season 2, rather, for the replay casting show. Best Sakuya NA is going to get to most, if not all, of these replays on his channel. Yeah, make sure you don't submit Tooth and Tail League games to me. I normally coordinate a lot with Best Sakuya, so he might hit me up in Discord at some point if he gets a little overwhelmed and throw some replays to me to cast as well, to just kind of get through everything. But yeah, just make sure those go to him. Those games will get casted by him on his channel. I might even hop on one of these days and co-cast with him. I need to get him on TnTTV at some point, man. I was trying to get him on tonight, but he works pretty late. It was super understandable. But that's it, guys. Okay. What was that? It was only 10 minutes. That wasn't too bad. So we got a really cool lineup here tonight for everybody. I'm excited, man. I got so many submissions. I'm not going to make any promises, but if I'm still feeling pretty froggy and we've got good viewership, I might continue on after the usual 12 and try to fit in a couple more here tonight. But don't worry, guys, if you did submit and you're not on the on the docket for tonight. We'll definitely get you in on Tuesday of next week. So. Yeah, gentleman's making a pretty important distinction in the chat. I think the more correct term in the TnT Season 2 League is group stage, not class. I think we're still kind of... I think you can drop out of Class S, or you can get promoted to Class S from Class A, you know, et cetera, et cetera. So the classes aren't, like, super set yet. I think these best-of-3 games that we're all going to play over the week will kind of finalize that out. But anyways, guys, let's hop into it. I'm excited for this first match because I don't recognize either of these names, and that always gets me hyped up to see new players in the community. So let's get into it, guys. Okay, spawning in the bottom, we've got Trench Dog. And his opponent up top, Hailstorm. Hailstorm reminds me of Ailstorm, that sweet pirate metal band. But definitely check out Hailstorm if you guys like rock, man. But yeah, we see owls from both players here. Pretty big map. Several gristmills here. A couple more gristmills on Hailstorm's side, though. So I feel like Hailstorm might be a bit more inclined to kind of play safe and let this game evolve into that late game. Where Trench Dog here, it's going to be tough for him, man. I mean, he can kind of expand out over to the left. Hailstorm doesn't have lizards, so being spread out like that's not going to be a super big deal. There's also these campfires over here you could possibly snag, but honestly, I think the correct play, I don't know if it's correct, but maybe the bold move here is for Trench Dog to try to expand up here, you know, set up some barbed wire, set up some turrets, and try to start claiming this territory and steal that from Hailstorm. I'm really hoping my laptop doesn't shut off, guys. I think my laptop's battery is dead. Like, I'm at like 8%. Like, it doesn't charge anymore, but I am plugged in. But anyways, I will be buying myself a new laptop battery. Make sure that doesn't happen. So I'm crossing my fingers, guys, and hoping this thing doesn't just immediately shut off on us. If it does, I might scramble and grab another laptop I have and try to get that set up. But here we go. Hailstorm is moving out with some squirrels, but he's going to see all this barbed wire from Trench Dog and back out. I'd love to see him sell this barbed wire off now, now that attack's kind of been deflected. But he opts to keep it for the moment. Typically, my rule of thumb with defense is you want to try to defend multiple things at once to get the most bang out of your buck. Like, kind of turtling in on one base and Tooth and Tail can be okay, but you just mine out so damn fast, man. Like, you really got to stretch out on the map before you start drawing your battle lines here. So Trench Dog has invested quite a bit into that barbed wire, and Hailstorm's going to take that opportunity to rush up to a tier 3. Now, I believe, yeah, okay, he definitely got the scout elf on that. And he knows it's an owl now, because we're on the latest patch where you can see what tier 3 units are building. And Trench Dog, I don't know why I didn't notice this until just now, but he doesn't have any squirrels or lizards in his deck. He's got pigeons, but pigeons aren't really in that crucial tier 1 category. You know, it's almost like a Tooth and Tail law that you have to run either squirrel or lizard at a minimum. And Trench Dog's kind of breaking the rules here and opting to not do that. And you know what? Now that I think about it, not having any tier 1 makes his barbed wire setup make more sense. I actually don't mind this. Because instead of, you know, investing all this food into, you know, a few squirrel warrens, instead he invested into barbed wire and a turret, so that could kind of even him out. And he wants to get up to this owl, tries to move in with some snakes, but the ferrets there from Hailstorm end up, you know, shoving him back for the time being. And Trench Dog already taking this left base. He hasn't started, you know, really saturating that up just yet, but he has the option to whenever he wants. He can simply just burrow over there, throw down a farm or two. And the owl is now out for Hailstorm. Now, one owl isn't super scary. 2 to 3 owls is, though. But, you know, Hailstorm's got a pretty well-rounded army here, to be honest. I'd like to see maybe a few more squirrels in the mix, but you know, overall pretty good. He's got the ferrets to poke. I mean, maybe he doesn't even need additional squirrels because that owl is giving him those mice, right, which are great up front, you know, kind of tanky brawler units. And Trench Dog identifies Hailstorm as taking expansion. I don't think Hailstorm, yeah, he hasn't scouted over onto Trench Dog just yet, so. All right, Hailstorm trying to move in and put on some pressure. Let's see. The skunks are definitely going to be important here for Trench Dog. The mice do, attack this barbed wire, but not going to be super, super effective against it, as Trench Dog has his own mice to kind of push that back for now. And Hailstorm's going to move out. Man, if Hailstorm was just aware of this base, he could move his, like, Trench Dog is not in position. Hailstorm could come over here, wreck this base, and get out of there before Trench Dog even has a chance to engage. And ooh, oh, I thought we're gonna have two ships passing in the night scenario. Ooh, those mice get right up on that snake. That's a nice pickup there for Hailstorm. Trench Dog's gonna hard engage though. Let's see if he's got enough. Actually, this fight's going pretty well for Trench Dog so far. Manages to take out all the tier 2 of Hailstorm, keep his owl alive. And, yeah, I think he's in pretty good shape at the moment. Dude, Hailstorm is going so hard on his second base. That might have been a little bit of a mistake there, investing so much so quickly, because now he doesn't necessarily have enough army to fend off this attack here from Trench Dog. The owl goes down. That is enormous. Trench Dog's owl is low, but you kind of want to let your owl get low and pull it back, you know, so you can kind of tank a little bit of damage with it there. But so far, good aggression here from Trench Dog. Nice target firing down on that ferret. He's got plenty of poison snacks on it. Loses a snake, though. Gets the gristmill, gets the ferret. Yeah, and he's kind of hemorrhaging off some snakes for this push, but overall, it's worth it. He really needs to keep this owl alive, though, man. 9 HP on this owl, 7. Hailstorm's trying to target fire it down. It's got 3 HP left, too, and now it goes down to that last squirrel. Somebody give that squirrel a medal. But it's not going to be enough, man. Trench Dog moving in, and that's probably going to be the killing blow. 13 stacks of poison on that gristmill, and it goes down. Trench Dog takes the game. That was an interesting match, man. Pretty cool to see. Trench Dog kind of used barbed wire in place of squirrels or lizards, and hey, it ended up working out for him. Okay. Let's keep the show rolling, guys. Oh, yeah, and I did finally update my YouTube channel, guys. It still has a little bit of work that needs to be done, but overall, it's fairly updated. If you guys want to check that out, man, scroll underneath the stream you're watching right now. Click on that YouTube banner. They'll bring you to the page, man. Throw me a subscribe, man. Subscribes are free on YouTube. I would really appreciate it. And I actually even made playlists, so if you, like, want to watch the feast while you're, you know, falling asleep or something like that, man, I got a playlist of the newest to oldest shows, and trying to get the tournament VODs up there in their own playlists and stuff like that, too. So over the weekend, I should be able to finish getting that caught up. And I'm also gonna, I think I fixed my bit alerts fairly well, but I do actually want to come in and get some of the game sounds, like some of the Hopper voice lines when I get bit donations or followers or something like that, rather than that default, you know, Streamlab, you know, little bleep sound. That was a terrible impression. I shouldn't have done that. I'm sorry. I apologize. Anyways, guys, game number 2 here. Okay, spawning on the left, we've got Amistria rocking the wolf. And her opponent to the right, Kerpa with the boar. Okay, both players opting for the Ferret Falcon for their tier 2 slots. And Amishia's got the lizards here. I always like lizards in a deck if you can fit them in. They just give you a lot of options. You can really punish an opponent who tries to spread out too much on the map. You can kind of tech switch in the late game to a big lizard all in and try to base trade. So it gives a lot of variation. I feel like lizards, you know, correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, but, you know, traditionally, lizards tend to trade fairly well with squirrels and big open even fights and stuff, but they did just take a hit to HP, so they only need, no, I guess it would still be the same amount of squirrel shots, right? Yeah, it's still 4 squirrel shots to kill a lizard. So let's see. All right, Kerpa actually with a relatively quick Warren here, in the spot that he placed it, it's a bit hidden. Now, did Amisha actually scout it? No, she didn't. Oh, that is actually really cool. So a little bit of mind games coming out of Kerpa here. You know, Amisha comes in, and you know, Amisha is pretty good. She probably realized something was missing there from Kerpa. But he manages to get out these squirrels for some harassment. Ooh, I don't know. I think that, yeah, that's in range. That should totally be in range. Oh, and that's going to be such a pain in the ass. And look at that. Kerpa just sends the squirrels to go over there and start harassing those pigs. Burrows back to his base and starts macroing up. But these, oh, they didn't quite. Oh, one squirrel, okay, is in position. But look at this ledge, man. Like, this is super, super annoying for Mishria. She would have to walk all the way around like that to get up here. And Kerpa's going to take advantage of this. And meanwhile, Amisha is just going to go for the counterattack. She's taking some damage back at home. She lost 2 farms. But should be able to come in here and get some counter damage done. Definitely going to get at least 2 farms with this aggression. I don't think she can get another one. She needs to be careful not to overcommit. Yeah, she tried to go for another one, lost those 3 lizards there. She could have backed out, kept those lizards alive, but I get it, man. I do it all the time with my lizards. You know, you smell some blood in the water, you want to get that last kill. Kerpa actually immediately starts rebuilding those farms, though, and Amishria hasn't started rebuilding hers yet, so that could be a pretty big deal, man. You do not want to fall behind on the farm count in this early game situation. And both players kind of parallel thinking there decided to take a fairly quick expansion around the 2-minute 40 mark. And yeah, Mishra is just going pretty hardcore on these lizards for the moment. Kind of scoping out the squirrel count from her opponent. Recognizes she's got a little bit more than Kerpa does here. She's going to move in for the aggression. I don't think the pigeons are really going to matter too much here. Yeah, look at those lizards. Absolutely rolling over those squirrels. Keep in mind, there were 3 more lizards there than there were squirrels, though. Nice. Picks up that Warren. She needs to get out of here, though. She's... yeah, actually ends up losing the rest of those lizards. But really, that should be fine. She got some really good damage done there. She should even be able to pick up this gristmill, but I'm still worried about Amishria's economy, man, being 6 farms to 8. But if she gets enough damage done, it might not matter. Denying that expansion is pretty big. And yeah, Mishra is just going to start farming up on her second base. Let me know how the levels are, guys. I think the levels are good, right? It should be good. I think OBS tells me they're good. Yeah, I think they're all right. So Kerpa trying to get up this boar. I like it, man. You got to take a little bit of a risk when you're behind. And Kerpa's really doing okay, though. Like, the fact that Amishria, spent a couple minutes there, 6 farms to 8. Yeah, Kerpa took a couple poor engagements there. Kerpa lost a Warren in that gristmill. But overall, he's in okay shape. And if Amishria sits around and lets this boar come out, I don't think she's scouted the tier 3 yet. She really needs to get that scout off, knowing what's coming up is half the battle in any RTS game, and Amisha really needs to understand the fact that a tier 3 is coming. And now with this latest patch, she would even know that it's the boar, and then she'd have the opportunity to tech out of these lizards. I mean, the boar should definitely hard counter these lizards here and roll over this straight up lizard composition from Amishria. This is why I feel like lizards are so powerful, man, because they're like one of the only units in the game where you can really do this. Like, just go nothing but lizards. And that doesn't necessarily have to be your battle plan, but you always have that option when you're running lizards in your deck. Mishra's not here to micro her forces, and that actually matters a little bit. As you can see, these last couple lizards didn't quite want to commit to the engagement because it was a little bit out of their range. And fantastic trade there for Kerpa. That puts Kerpa in a very good position, but Amishria actually has a fantastic economy going for herself at this moment, so that might even it out. But again, man, I'm really worried about this boar. The boar is on the map now. Kerpa, man, don't worry about turrets, bro. It's time to move out. Let's see it. Amishria still doesn't know about the boar. This boar should just totally wreck these lizards. Amishria could maybe, when she sees the boar, I think the best move to make is to just kind of run around and initiate a base trade, right? Like, yeah, she's still building farms, man. And here she goes. Now she knows what's up. And she's gonna just try to jump in on the boar, try to get a spread, but look at that boar. Just wrecking all the lizards here for Amishria. And I feel like Amishria had the opportunity. Like, if you would have gone in, now I see why that tier 3 change is so significant. Because that would matter, right? Because, if you got a whole bunch of lizards like that and they're building a fox, you're like, great, the fox is gonna get wrecked by the lizards. But if they're building a boar, you gotta tech switch out of that lizard composition into something else, man. Because that boar is just kind of designed to deal with lizards, you know. This should be all she wrote for Amicia. Let's see if she can get something done. Where's she warping away to her last campfire? Gonna try to build some lizards here and do something. But Kerpa's aware of that campfire, I believe. No, he's not, but he's about to find it. Yep, he knows now. Oh, maybe Amicia can get... Oh! I think she's trying to get down to this gristmill here. But that turret actually body blocked her. So now Kerpa's coming in, and she's not going to be able to get that that gristmill up in time. That's going to be the match. Kerpa takes the game. I think Amicia actually submitted this one too, so props to Amicia for submitting a loss. Unless Kerpa submitted it, then I apologize. Okay. Yeah, I'm sure all the people in chat that get tilted by lizards, man, you probably love that game. Let's keep things moving, guys. Match number 3. Okay, spawning to the left, we've got Vladlad. And his opponent to the right, Vincent. Alright, Vincent with no tier 3 here, but he's got mines. And Vladlad has got the fox. Vladlad is actually using the deck that I use a lot recently. You know, people, listen, I'm gonna put myself out there. I think toads are good, man. I think it's a general consensus for high-level players that toads aren't that great. I think they're fantastic right now because, for one, so many people go lizards. Toads trade amazingly against lizards. Toads still trade really well against squirrels. If you're against a good player who can target fire down those toads before they can make the hits, then that could be an issue. But once you kind of start getting up to critical mass, you know, like really big armies, then it gets more and more difficult to target fire down all the toads in time. But not only that, but toads do so much single target damage that I've been having great success with them against tier 2 units in general. So I like toads at the moment. You know, a lot of people, yeah, Kerpa said he did not submit that replay. So yeah, props to Amicia, man. I always like seeing when people submit losses for sure. Let's see this. Vladlad trying to be cheeky here. He stole this campfire from Vincent, and he's trying to build some turrets here, but you can really see that change on how defensive structures operate while under fire. You know, really in action there. Those lizards got through those turrets very, very quickly. Knock out those that campfire. That was a really big investment for Vladlad, man. And he's kind of in hot water. He doesn't have any warrens up, so he knows he's gonna need a couple turrets here to try to force back Vincent for the time being. And now Vladlad's gonna be able to take a couple squirrels. But this is the issue with defense. So I thought Vincent was gonna go for it. He's probably just going home, gonna macro, yeah, grab that campfire, maybe come back out to the field to control these lizards once again. But yeah, I mean, Vincent can simply run around those turrets, you know. I mean, yeah, he's got to go through the water. And Vladlad knows that, so he's not committing too hard to the turrets. You just kind of use the turrets to buy him a little bit of time to get up his own units. But Vladlad's position, commander's not at home, so Vincent's going to get some real damage done here. One farm already going down. Another pig dies. He's going to get 3, maybe even 4. Oh, that is so much damage here from Vincent. Vladlad is in such a bad position now. I mean, he kind of had that botched, you know, cheesy kind of turret rush. You know, Vincent was really on top of his game there and knocked that out. And then on top of that, Vincent's counterattack took out 4 farms from Vladlad. So I'll be very impressed if Vladlad can come back into this game. But again, man, he's got those toads. And toads do fairly well against lizards. Now, I think the correct move here, if you've got the toads, it's kind of hard. Like, you almost want to hide the fact that you have toads, right? Because Vincent at the moment is doing what Amicia did last game, where he's just going super hard on these lizards. And the moment that Vincent sees, that Vincent identifies Vladlad does indeed have the toads, he's going to tech switch out of those lizards and into the squirrels, right? That's kind of why the squirrels are there in Vincent's deck for the most part. you know, just to be able to trigger, you know, to switch over in case he gets countered. So, and so far, Vincent has not seen the toads, but he's gonna see him here. Now, granted, Vladlad hasn't committed to a lot of toads, and this mine placements, man, Vincent's doing a great job just kind of throwing these all over the field. And Vladlad actually hasn't even seen a mine yet. And mines aren't super common. Like, they're not bad. You know, they're just a little bit conditional. You don't see guys run them that often, which is actually great if you are a mine player, because nobody's going to expect it. You know, you're Spanish Inquisitioning of the defensive structures there. So I love this out of Vladlad trying to set up a position here with these turrets, but Vincent's already got ferrets out. He needs to sell those turrets off, but no, instead he's going to try to go for a big engagement. Now he sees that mines are indeed on the board. Doesn't take incredible damage off that one mine, but does soak, you know, does hurt a few of his units here. And now this ferret poke is going to be pretty brutal here. Vladlad really needs to sell these turrets off, man. After all that he's already lost this game, he really can't afford to be giving Vincent anything else here. Vladlad's getting his own ferrets. Vincent, man, my man here. Going up to 6 ferrets. You never see this. Again, I feel like a whole bunch of ferrets can be pretty good too. Because just like probability and statistics, you know, because for the most part, you know, as you can see here, if your opponent's kind of microing their units about, those ferrets aren't really going to land their shots that often, you know, but, you know, if let's say a ferret's got a 7% chance to land a shot or something, right, if your opponent's microing, you know, just go with me for the sake of the argument. You got 2 ferrets, yeah. All right, when you get 6 ferrets in, you know, statistically, you're gonna actually start landing shots just from this random spray and pray type fire. So I think that's pretty slick. Let's see. Thinking about an engagement, you know, I'm surprised these turrets here from Vladlad are still alive. I mean, Vladlad's been doing pretty good, microing his army, keeping some of that shelling off the turrets for the time being, but he has been kind of hemorrhaging some units here in the process. 6 ferrets, come on, Vincent. I believe in the 6 ferrets, but somehow, man, like, how is Vladlad's economy so far ahead? Vincent's farms are just starting to mine out. Ooh, a good toad hit there. Another fantastic toad hit, but not enough to clear everything off. Nice sell-off on the war in there, and that was a connection that Vincent needed. And that's probably enough to start turning the tides. I mean, look at that army value graph just skyrocket down because of those toads. I'm telling you, man. I'm taking a stance. I say toads are good. Not in situations like that. Like, that's probably why high-level players shy against toads right there, as we saw. Like, one toad traded with the lizard, which is like, and then the other toad gets gunned down. But look how much damage that toad did to that ferret, man. Like, that's pretty significant. Boom. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? A couple squirrels to finish those ferrets off. It feels good for Vladlad here. This is becoming a pretty scrappy game so far. Yeah, Vladlad kind of had that economic lead for a second there, but his farms mined out shortly after. All right, Vincent looking for the runaround attack, but these toads might just kind of be in the right position. Oh, wow. Those lizards actually killed the toad before it detonated. I think Vladlad might have been holding down the button, you know, so his units wouldn't attack. So I don't think I've ever seen that before. Vladlad's kind of clawing his way back into this game here. Vincent needs to be careful, man. Vincent's real estate is really in these ferrets at the moment. As long as Vincent can keep these ferrets alive, he should be in good shape. But he's got to build something. He's got to sell off a couple of these lizards and get another base established. But, you know, looking at this map, it's kind of pretty brutal for Vincent here, to be honest. Like, where is he going to expand, you know? He tried expanding here already, but it's pretty easy for Vladlad, you know, to shell that safely and kind of retreat back into his territory. Vincent's just going to take the campfire and maybe go for one big last strike here. Oh, look at that lizard engagement, knocking out a ton of toad engagement, knocking out a bunch of lizards there. And Vladlad thinks he's got enough moves in for the big engagement. Those toads going off on the ferrets, dealing a ton of damage. Man, I'm really impressed with Vladlad here. I'm pretty sure he's going to win from here, right? I mean, Vincent might not be out, but he's basically got no income. You know, I felt like Vincent kind of had a chance when he had all of his ferrets alive, but now that those ferrets are going down, he's really got nothing left. And you got to remember how much damage Vladlad took in the early game here. You know, botching this turret rush You know, the counterattack from that, knocking out 4 farms there. I mean, that's huge. You know, Vlad with some good micro, with some good toad engagements, managed to get himself back into this game. And now he's trying to come in for the killing blow, but trying to be careful as he knows that Vincent's got mines around, but he doesn't quite know where. There's no stealth detection in this game, so it's difficult for Vlad. You know, you gotta, it's rough. Like, it's easy to say, you know, you could probably go in there and knock him out from our point of view, but you gotta remember Vlad's got limited information. It's a 9-minute game here, so that's pretty long for a match at TNT. But this campfire is gonna go down, and that actually, oh, never mind, he's got other stuff over there. I got excited for no reason. Great counterattack from Vincent, though. Gonna take out this Gristmill and put Vlad into starvation as well. But Vlad should be able to come in here and deal with these lizards. Now, the Swift from the lizards might be enough to get most of these out alive, but Vlad can't mess around, man. He's got to sell something off and get another Gristmill building within, you know, what's he got, like 15 seconds left to get another Gristmill established. He doesn't have the money either, so he's got to go back home and sell something. Wastes a bit of the toads on that Gristmill there. And here we go. And actually, you know what? Vincent! Oh my god. Alright, alright. We have a game for lizard haters and lizard lovers there, apparently. Because Vincent, sneaky, runs in, knocks out the last remaining Gristmill from Vlad and takes the match. Okay, match number 4, another new submitter here, so I'm excited for that. Let's hop into it, guys. All right, spawning on the bottom right, we've got Sheer. And his opponent to the top left, Richard the Chicken. All right, we got some arties this game, boys. We're gonna see this 10-range artillery cannon in action, maybe. I don't want to get your hopes up. We might not see either player build the artillery cannon, but we'll see. We'll see how this game progresses. Overall, I feel like Sheer's in a better position on the map here. You know, I mean, look at this triple high ground for the main base. That's going to be very difficult for Richard to get in here and attack the main. Sheer's even got this campfire, you know, basically given to him. And then he's got these 3 expansions over here. Meanwhile, Richard really doesn't have a good natural base option. He's got access to a couple campfires, which will help him kind of extend that early game, you know, maybe stay on one base a bit longer than usual. Kind of make up for the fact that he doesn't have access to an easy gristmill. And he still has this, like, 9 o'clock gristmill he can eventually get, but that's going to be difficult for him for sure. I mean, there's no ramp, you know, over here in the terrain to easily get over there. I mean, this map, though, I kind of like how both players are on, you know, double, triple high ground for their mains. It might actually force this game into a bit of a macro late game position because it's just going to be so difficult to get up there and attack your opponent. Nothing super crazy so far. I think Richard went for a 7 farm Warren. Meanwhile, Sheer went for the 8 farm double. So Sheer should have, or did they? Was it opposite? Oh no. Okay, I was looking at the wrong spot in the graph. So yeah. So Sheer got a little bit of an income advantage from building his Warren slightly later. Both players already grabbing those campfires respectively. And yeah, we're going to have to see where these guys want to take the match from here. So oh, Vlad submitted that one, that last one. So yeah, I thought you did, man. It's really cool. Vlad submitting a loss as well. I always like to see guys submit losses. It's always cool, you know. I mean, submit whatever you want. I don't really care, but it's very humble to submit a loss. But you know, don't feel like you need to, man. Definitely submit wins and get your glory here on the feast and that kind of jazz. And yeah, Richard's already coming over here and trying to get this second base established. Now, Sheer probably isn't aware of it. You know, this artillery cannon with the bonus range is actually in a really good position. I mean, I would probably argue that putting it on this lower high ground might have been better. because you still have that high ground position, but then it's going to kind of cover more area. But I believe with that 10 range, that arty cannon should have plenty of room to protect this second base. But Richard's economy is going to get fairly ahead here, as Sheer is making all these investments in like protecting his second base without actually taking a second base yet. And at the same, man, look at Richard over here, just going straight up to 16 farms. What a madman. Super, super greedy play here. And that's going to work really well for him because it's not going to get punished, because Sheer has just invested so much resource into these defenses. Now, if Sheer had just built straight, you know, tier 1 and tier 2, I think he would come over here and wreck this base. But, you know, since he invested, what is that, 300 food in defenses there, you know, Richard's able to take this base and still kind of have a comparable army. And yeah, Sheer is aware of that other base. Yep, okay, I thought so. So Sheer's gonna get his own second base going, and we're gonna get to Owl versus Wolf here, I think, pretty shortly. I mean, I feel like that's where this game is going. Lots of tier 2 coming down for both players. Richard, I like this a lot from Richard. He's kind of getting this, you know, flock of falcons established. Okay, here's a random trivia question. Do you call, like, a bird of prey, like a falcon, you wouldn't really call that a flock, would you? I don't think like predator birds really flock together, do they? It's more like the prey birds that do that and stuff, because you have safety in numbers. Like most like predatory animals actually spread out. Like, it's kind of depressing, man. I watch a lot of nature documentaries, and I mean there's like big cats and stuff, like mountain lions and whatnot, that, you know, they will never like run into another like big cat, another mountain lion for like most of their life. That, you know, most predatory animals kind of live pretty solidarity style lives, just because you need all that hunting space, right? So you got to kind of spread out. Like, one falcon's hunting grounds might be like 3 or 4 miles squared or something, and then the next falcon would be over or something like that. So anyways, guys, wondering when these tier 3 are gonna come down. Overall, I think Richard's in a better spot here. He doesn't quite have an answer. Look at all this artillery though from Sheer, man. 2 arty cannons coming down. Yeah, he placed that other one where I was talking about before. I definitely think that's the spot for sure, man. And Sheer kind of recognizes, okay, we're gonna go into a late game here, and the burden, and he takes a third base, but the burden is really on Richard here to get something done, I feel like, because Sheer can just kind of hang out, man. He can chill, you know. He's got 4 potential bases here. Meanwhile, yeah, Richard's only got the 2 campfires and the 2 gristmills. Yeah, Richard's got to push out and try to get something done. So here he comes, man. Because if he just kind of stays passive, eventually Sheer will just have too much. And Richard's actually getting a ton of damage done to the infrastructure of Sheer here. And man, he wrecks down that arty cannon. You know, even something as strong as an artillery cannon, you got to defend it, man. Sheer's army was kind of out of position, but Richard overextends, and he's going to end up losing everything here. He needs to try to get out with whatever tier 2 he can keep alive. It looks like he is going to get out with a couple of these ferrets, but he lost 8 falcons there. Still, though, he got some decent damage done for sure to Sheer. Yeah, overall, there was somewhat even, as Richard did get a lot of damage done to the infrastructure of Sheer there, but he bled off a lot of units, but his income is still good enough to try to come in here and attack again. But this is a bit of an overextension. That artillery cannon should be getting a lot of work done here in that balloon. Richard tried to target down some of that defense, but they stay alive. And Richard needs to re-rally, but I mean, you can't really blame Richard the Chicken here, right? Like, he's got to attack. I mean, look at this. Sheer has already taken up all 4 of those bases. Like, Richard just doesn't have any other economic options available for him this game. You know, he's got to get something done. And again, nice defense from Sheer here. Those defensive structures really worth their weight in gold in these past couple engagements. I mean, this artillery cannon, man, has gotten a ton of work done this game, I feel like. And Richard's going to have to back up for now and try to muster up another force to try to do this again. But he's on a clock, man. You know, he's basically only got until this base mine's out, and it looks like it's starting to get there. No tier 3 from either player yet, and I really don't blame him. You know, it's kind of a super scrappy game at this point. It's pretty big risk, you know, to invest that 360 food into something that's going to take so long to actively affect the board, you know. All right, Richard moving in yet again. Gonna try to knock out what he can, but that artillery cannon from the back just shelling everything here. But he's starting to get some work done. He might be able to push in with these ferrets. Oh, did his commander die or something? Yeah, it looked like his commander died there. Like, if he can target fire down this arty cannon, he actually might be starting to break Shear's back here. Yeah, nice target fire down on that drum fire. So that falls. He's got these falcons still just barely alive. 1 HP each. One of them falls. One of them still alive. It goes down to some pick fire. And man, this game is just an absolute bloodbath. Both players are losing, you know, really critical units constantly. And now Richard is down to nothing, man. He's got 0 income. He's got the 1 campfire with just a little, tiny little scrap of meat left on it. And that's going to be it. So he's got to sell off a couple Warrens, I feel like, and try to put together one last big hurrah. But Shear's economy isn't really through the roof. You know, Shear's been under constant aggression this entire match and hasn't really had the opportunity to get in here and fully saturate up these 3rd and 4th bases. So surprisingly, like, Richard's army is still pretty good. Like, he's been taking some decent trades. For the most part. I mean, a couple times he's been overextending. Yeah, I mean, it's rough, like, when you're trying to knock down 2 artillery cannons and a balloon, for sure. But he comes in, and now he's starting to get some damage on that. That gristmill's not the biggest deal in the world for Shear here. Now Richard's in starvation, though, so he's got to snag one of these gristmills in the next 30 seconds to stay in this game. Nice target firing here from Richard, trying to knock out that skunk, but doesn't quite get it. And that skunk gas is starting to do its job, knocking out all the tier 1 on the ground. But there's only just a few squirrels here, and you know what? Shear doesn't have any Warrens left. Like, that's a pretty big deal. Richard living on the edges, commander going down to 3 HP. He's only got a couple seconds left. What is he gonna do? He's got to sell something off and build something immediately. I guess he could snag this campfire, right? I think a building campfire will stop the starvation, won't it? I don't know, man. 10 seconds. It's got a lot of food. Yeah, it's his only hope. 3. Oh, just barely gets it in time. Only a couple seconds to spare. And Shear does have the better position with gristmills, but he's got to start from scratch, man. He had no Warrens left over. Like, Richard's constant aggression had knocked out all of the infrastructure from Shear there. So here he goes, man, with just a little scrappy army here. A falcon, a ferret, and a couple squirrels. Moving out to keep the pressure on. I like to see him, yeah, just kind of hang back and poke with this ferret. And now he's going to engage and try to knock out that skunk. That's really the keystone of Shear's army at the moment. If that skunk goes down, so does the power level of his army pretty drastically here. The skunk stays alive and does its job and knocks out all those squirrels. And Richard doesn't have an income. Shear's got these 3 firearms, but oh man, Shear's got nothing that can hit the air. He's got a single squirrel. He needs to target fire down that falcon, but if Richard changes his focus, you know, 1 falcon will beat 1 squirrel all day long. He really needs to target fire that down, but he tried to get the skunk. 1 HP on that skunk. Ooh, what a scrappy match. Nice target firing there from Richard. Trying to knock out these skunks, but Shear stabilizes and takes everything out. And Richard, it's 1 farm to 1 farm here. The difference being that Richard actually has a couple, you know, Warrens here. I'd love to see him go back and maybe sell off one of those. He really needs all the money he can get at this point. What do you sell at this point? He decides to go for the ferret and a squirrel. So let's see. Yeah, trying to make more squirrels here. Maybe decided he didn't need to sell that one squirrel, but now he's starving again, so the clock is ticking here. Snags that gristmill just to be able to stay in this game eventually, but even still, he doesn't have enough money to afford to throw down a farm once that gristmill's done. He's got to go back and sell off that extra squirrel warren here. And Sheer is just trying to do what he can, man. He's got this last base in the south. He's got one warren up. 2 squirrels versus 3. Valiant effort there from Sheer, but Richard takes it with some good target fire, and now he's going to come in here and try to compound that little skirmish's victory into a win. And that Falcon getting here just might be too much for Sheer. I think that's going to be all she wrote, man. Nearly a 14-minute game. Really cool to see Richard the Chicken taking the match on a pretty unfavored map for himself. Fantastic game there, man. Thanks for the submission. Guys, I apologize. I got to take a very, very short restroom break. I'll probably be back in like a minute or two, so stay tuned. We still got plenty of content to go through. I'll be back in just a second. Alright, sorry about that, guys. I am back. I am refreshed. I am rested after using the restroom. Got me a nice Yingling East Coast American lager. Delicious. Okay, where are we at? Alright. Looks like we got some Pillow 8 versus Chip from Space action going. Let me see. Looks like the levels are all good. So don't forget about the Tooth and Tail Season 2 League that is currently underway, man. Keep an eye on Twitch TV/BestSakuyaNA's channel to check those games out. And the Tooth and Tail PvP campaign is coming up, man. It's going to be next weekend, so get hyped for that, man. Make sure you're signed up for it. It's a pretty cool format. It's going to be a standard best-of-3 tournament on Saturday. It's going to be here on this channel. It's going to be casted by myself and Jet Erickson. And then on Sunday, we're going to go into the campaign, the story side of it, with the custom maps and the lore and all that good jazz. And I think that's going to be me and Gabeney casting on Sunday. So, going to be really cool, man. I'm excited. Tooth and Tail is just rocking lately. I feel like, a lot of cool stuff between the Pocket World, little, friendly rivalry, pick a team, take over Viashul kind of thing. Tooth and Tail, we got a big tournament coming up next weekend. We got the league underway. Obviously the brand new patch, keeping the game fresh, the PS4 crossplay. It's all great stuff, man. All right, so let's keep it going. Match number 5 here. Let's hop into it. Plague Dr. Skunks, man. I'm all about it. Send that request to Glorious AFB, man. I'll showcase it for sure. All right, guys. On the left, we've got Pillow 8 memeing it up, it looks like. Oh, but so is Chip over here on the right. Now, I wonder if this was kind of a staged match. I know Pillow 8 and Chip are buddies. They're both really high-level players if you guys are kind of new to the scene. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I honestly can't tell you. I haven't played enough of the ladder recently. This seems trolly to me. to go for double tier 3 and then a whole bunch of defenses on top of it. I mean, artillery cannons, I'm not sure. Like, I still need to see the meta a bit more. I still need to play more ladder to where if it's like artillery cannons are so good right now, you know, you gotta include them in your deck, or if they like kind of have a nice niche where, yeah, they can work in certain situations, but you don't always need them. I think if artillery cannons do get popular, things like Falcons are going to surge up as well. But Falcons have kind of always been there in the scene. I mean, it's very rare. I've been doing this show since September, and I really can't remember a meta where we didn't see a lot of Falcons. So the big difference here is Pillow is going for the Wolf, and Chip is going for the Boar. And Chip decided to drop the turrets to include lizards in his deck, which is always nice, as I kind of mentioned earlier, as you can do that big tech switch into lizards, try to run around your opponent. And look at this man, Pillow 8. Balls of Steel over here. Going straight 8 farm into a tier 3, no tier 1 Warrens, and he's gonna, this is kind of the spawn to do it too. Like, he's got the double high ground. He's got the one entrance to his base, right? So if you were gonna be super greedy on a fast tier 3 rush, this is the time to do it, for sure. And meanwhile, Chip is just taking that expansion, kind of playing a bit more standard at this point, you know, getting up a nice healthy squirrel count. Pillow 8 is such a madman, going for 2 tier 3s right off the bat. I'm gonna have to see what Chip saw with that scout. Did he see both of them? Oh yeah, he knows what's up, and he knows what tier 3 those are as well. So I think Chip's strategy here is to maybe he's saying to himself, like, okay, I've got a little bit of time before those owls really hit the board. So maybe he's trying to macro up for a minute, you know, before that happens. Pillow's in the chat saying it's not staged. They were just kind of hitting each other on the ladder a whole bunch, and it kind of devolved into this. That's awesome. So Pillow getting his expansion of his own up. Now, Chip does kind of have a better starting map position here, I feel like. You know, a little bit of a closer natural expansion. He's got that campfire right there. You know, Pillow's natural isn't super bad for him either. Really, it's actually pretty good because he's only really got the one entrance over here. I mean, yeah, if you wanted to be a real tryhard, you could say, well, Chip could run in this way with his lizards, right, and kind of get past stuff, which, you know, might actually happen this game, to be honest. Like, if Pillow really invests a lot over here and kind of neglects this area, man, if only Pillow had some barbed wire, right? Like, imagine just, like, 3 pieces of barbed wire right there. Oh, that'd be so beautiful. But Pillow's kind of setting the table with the turrets, you know. It's always a good rule of thumb. Like, oh, look at that artillery placement by Chip, by the way. Really utilizing the little doodads on the map as some natural defense there. But Pillow's, yeah, he's kind of setting the table for some artillery cannons, you know, getting a couple turrets to defend that artillery as it goes, as he's going to place it down eventually. It doesn't seem like he's in too much of a rush, but really right now Pillow needs to match the economy here from Chip, because Chip went super, super hard on that second base really quickly, and yeah, Pillow got those 2 owls out very fast, but those owls really haven't done much for Pillow yet in the game. So overall, I'd say Chip is in a better position. And Boar versus Mice, like, I think the Boar has enough HP to stay alive and flamethrower down those mice fairly well. So I think that's fine. But yeah, this is what's going to be crazy. Like, whoever can get this turret, this defense up, you know, closer, this dead man land, you know, like, look at these territories. Like, both players really want to get their defense as close to the edge of their territory as possible. But then once, you know, like, once Chip has this artillery cannon up, like, Pillow really can't get his stuff any closer, but he backs it out because maybe he thinks that those building arties would knock it down. But, you know, I don't really agree with that. I feel like Chip should have kept that artillery cannon, right? Because the balloons grant that high ground vision, and he might have been able to knock out those artillery cannons while they're still being built. But Chip's a better player than me, man, so I'm sure there's a reason he did that. And now we're in a weird spot. Now we're kind of in this, like, yeah, neither player can really attack one another. Okay, wait. Wait a second. If a wolf, okay, Let's see who can take the crown as top tooth and tail nerd here, knowing all the little ins and outs of the game. If a wolf buffs an owl, what happens? Does the owl produce mice faster? That would have to be it, right? Like, I don't know. I don't know if that's correct, though. I don't know if I've seen wolf buffed owl, at least not in a long time. Like, I've seen wolf and owl together, but most of the time the mice end up taking that buff, right? So I would assume if the wolf did buff the owl, then the owl might generate mice faster, but I don't know if that really matters because you can only have a certain amount of mice maximum, right? And then the mice will kind of die off and another one will spawn. Wolf buff owl gets more mice. Says Pre-Bimbo. Twice as much. Are you serious? That can't be correct. Is that correct? I mean, I'm sure if anybody would know, it would be Premium Bo. I mean, he does crazy nonsense like this all the time in 2v2 games. Oh, yeah, free ice cream in the chat. That makes perfect sense. Oh, Massive Self says Bo lies, though. Mice have lifespan, not unit count, though. So if an owl was producing mice faster if it was buffed up by a wolf, then I could see the argument that it would produce more mice than usual. But I'm not 100% certain that a wolf buffed up, or an owl buffed up by a wolf does indeed produce mice faster. I don't know. Okay, so if a buffed up owl from a wolf does indeed produce mice at a faster rate than normal, then yes, then it should have a higher mouse count than usual, because it's not a hard cap, it's a time limit kind of thing. I would agree with that, but we still don't see it here. Kind of just theory crafting on something that we're probably never going to see, because most of the time, those mice are just going to take that wolf buff, you know? Just because there's so many of them. And Chip very cleverly, I kind of showed it on the camera, but I didn't point it out. He took that base over there, kind of proxied to Pillow, and Pillow's trying to find an angle to move in with. Hasn't quite found it yet. Look at that artillery cannon range, man. So sick. Dude, look at that. It hit right there. That's nuts. It's pretty good. What just went down? Oh, okay, yeah. Pillow built an arty cannon here that knocked out that base Chip was trying to take. But Chip still managed to get up a little bit of defense over there, so that's going to be annoying when Pillow eventually tries to get a third base. But what's pretty crazy about this map, to be honest, is that we're in this like big, heavy owl defensive macro game, but both players are kind of stuck on two base, right? Like neither player can get a third gristmill. Like this base right here will never be taken. Absolutely not. If either player took that base, they'd probably already won the game at that point. And this base over by Pillow, like, yeah, Pillow could maybe take it, but Chip's a good player, man. He's keeping his eye on that. He's making sure Pillow doesn't get that advantage. But now Pillow's in a pretty good spot because Chip is starting to mine out. And Chip's going to hit starvation here shortly. It looks like he was saving this campfire kind of as his starvation farm, as Chip did indeed macro up super hard on that second base faster than Pillow did. But now Chip's trying to get something done. He realizes he's on a shorter clock, but his commander dies and all these owls are just running into these turrets, going down. That is absolutely huge. Pillow retaining his entire owl count here, and Chip from space is just basically reset to nothing, but never count Chip out, man. If I've seen players come back from situations like this, it would definitely be Chip. The Pillow 8's no slouch, man. He's not going to give Chip the breathing room. Man, that sucks. They were like so even that commander died, and just 4 tier 3 die, 5 tier 3 I think, right? Then you have 4 owls and a boar there. So that commander death, you know, netted Pillow like 4 or 5 tier 3 kills. That's huge, especially when there's no economies left. Okay, now we see the wolf buffed owl here. So is it producing faster mice? I honestly don't know. And Pillow 8's moving in to try to keep the pressure on. That artillery cannon doing a good job of wiping out most of these mice, though. He's going to have to move back for now. And Pillow's on Chip's on the clock now. Like, Pillow's got one last starvation farm as well. If you're a new player, guys, Pillow kept this farm until the very end to give him an extra 5 minutes to stay into this game. And Chip is just kind of looking around, scrambling, trying to find something he can grab. I think maybe he might be, yeah, he's like, maybe there's a campfire up here, but he didn't get lucky, man. No campfire for Chip. And the fact that Pillow kept that artillery cannon there over on the west just straight up denies that gristmill from ever being taken from Chip. And now Pillow realizes he's got too much. He moves in for the kill. Chip taps out, and Pillow takes the game. That was a pretty crazy match. I think the craziest thing about that match is it was like this, you know, hyper tier 3 defensive game, but on pretty small economies compared to what we're used to seeing in those kinds of situations. I mean, both players only really had 2 bases there, you know? So that was insane, man. Okay. Hopping into some premium 2v2s, guys. Let's get into it. All right, spawning in the bottom right, we've got Premium Bo and 2 Trailer Park Girls. And their opponents to the top left, we've got Lucky and James Bowring. Sup TV with the subscription, man. I really appreciate it, dude. That's awesome. Okay, what do we got going on in this game? Now you have access to the cool Fox with sunglasses emote, man. Everybody be jealous. Lots of gristmills on this map. A lot of them are kind of in the middle, though. Like, I'm looking at this. Like, James has kind of got a decent natural expansion. I guess Lucky does, too, right? Let's just... Like, this high ground... This is weird for me to try to analyze here, because Premium Bo and Trailer Park Girls are not going to sit around and let Lucky just take that base, right? Like, this high ground is so important to controlling this map and who's eventually going to win this. And meanwhile, you know, Premium Bo has got this nice base up there to take, and Trailer Park Girls has a nice little natural base as well. Some aggression already coming out here for Premium Bo, though. He's going to move across the map with a couple lizards. Trailer Park Girls is going to try to support him with some squirrels. Now, Premium Bo getting some pretty decent damage done to James Bowring there. Forces him to cancel those Warrens off. Even knocks out a pig. So far, so good here for Premium Bo, man. 2v2 is like this. You really got to be careful about trying to macro up too quickly to those 8 farms. Like, it can get really scrappy really fast here. And look at all this damage that green and yellow are already inflicting on their opponents. And yeah, okay, so Trailer Park Girls is going to come out and try to claim this high ground. This is what I was talking about, man. Like, I don't really consider these 2 bases here natural expansions for blue and red, because this high ground position is just so contestable. Like, you are not going to sit around if you're green and yellow and let them take that position. And already, green and yellow are trying to move out and muscle for this high ground and try to contain their opponents. And if green and yellow can successfully, you know, snag this area, I mean, they've got balloons, they've got turrets. Imagine a balloon up here on this high ground. Like, that'd be totally dope. Premium Bo keeping this aggression going, but he might be overextending a little bit here. Lucky coming over to help his teammate out. But yeah, I mean, if green and yellow kind of hunker down right here and fortify this area, throw up a little bit of defense, keep their units kind of positioned over here, they control the entire map. Like, red and blue have to break out. They cannot let this happen. But at the same time, if red and blue manage to take this high ground position, it's going to be very difficult for green and yellow to ever come in here and attack up that high ground, especially because red and blue have turrets and balloons themselves, right? A good mix of tier 3 this game as well. We've got double Fox for red and blue, which I actually don't like. Even being a Fox player myself, I feel like in 2v2, you need to coordinate with your teammate. Like, you don't want to pick up the same tier 3 per se. I mean, maybe if you're really confident, Fox might be an exception because it's such a micro-intensive unit. Like, if both of you are fantastic Fox players, then that makes sense. But I kind of like the green and yellow, like the Badger Wolf, a bit better. And a little bit of an overextension here from yellow. Premium Bo is not here to help his partner out, but as I say that, yellow is handling this very well. Red and blue's army was kind of funneling in fairly slowly there. But eventually this should get cleaned up. Let's see if Yellow can manage to get a pig for his troubles. Doesn't look like he'll get it, especially with that commander going down. So yeah, I like this move out of Premium Bow a lot, man. He's just like, you know what? We're in a good spot. We've inflicted some damage. Win ahead, get more ahead. The wise words of Day 9 and Tastosis. And just fully saturates up that second base. But this counterattack from James Bowring actually doing a lot of damage here to 2 Trailer Park Girls. Yeah, that was a very successful little lizard run by there. Because really, Trailer here is mainly focused on securing this containment, securing this base here. He really just took this base, like he's not even trying to macro up at the minute. Like keep in mind we're at the 430 mark here, so you know these main bases are gonna start mining out here shortly, but he overextends and blue and red clean it up with a lot of lizards there. And James is now getting his second base established, which is gonna be good for him. But and even these campfires here are difficult for red and blue to take. Like they have to walk all the way around to get to those campfires, man. That's pretty rough. And Premium Bow, all right. Who was it that did that, man? Where we had that one replay with like 50 or 60 toads? Was that Kerpa? I want to say that was Kerpa. I could be wrong. But Premium Bow's going for that strategy, man. So many toads. But you know what? I mean, red and blue basically just have lizards at this moment. Oh my god, Premium Bow. If this works, I'm gonna be so happy. Red and blue got a tech switch here. You know, Lucky can get some falcons and James can go squirrels. Like, you cannot stay on lizards against this many toads. Like, that's just redonkulous. Ooh, they're not gonna do well against that barbed wire though. Very inefficient trade there for Premium. But he might have got enough damage done to keep the momentum going. Like, Premium Bow doesn't have to be efficient. You know, he's got the biggest economy in the game by a lot, right? So as long as he just keeps, you know, bludgeoning, he's gonna zap Brannigan in here, and just constantly be throwing units at his opponents. Oh, okay. So it's like situations like that where I can understand the arguments. Like when toads overkill, you know, like 3 toads just killed 1 lizard there. I can definitely see how that could be bad. Nice little pickup on Trailer Park though. You know, Trailer Park's been doing a good job all game long, really preventing red or blue from getting out on this map and taking any expansions. I mean, he's been paying the price for it. His own economy is really not that great. But really the game plan seems to be like, you know, let Premium Bow get super powerful, right? And Lucky gets knocked out of the match there. Gristmill death by toads. It was a blue cat? It was blue cat. Okay. Okay, I know it was one of you crazy guys. Dude, that blue cat replay, man. Somebody, I should highlight that. I was gonna say somebody should highlight that, but that's inconsiderate of me. I should make my own highlights for my own channel. God. Okay. I think my top 3 favorite replays of all time was that blue cat match, right? Where he made just an insane amount of toads, like hundreds of toads. Like that was pretty recently too. I want to say it was in the last, I don't know, like maybe like Feast 50-ish, I want to say. And then we had that one game where we had like the 21 fox deaths. Okay, that's in my top 3. And then the game when artillery cannons were 120 food and Pile had contained Chip. And Chip used like 10 bore bombs to break the contain. I think those are my top 3 favorite games. Nice micro here on this fox though. Killing these toads off slowly but surely. Premium Bow's kind of coming in here a little bit lemmings here. You know, you really need that big clump of toads to be effective. He doesn't want them to come in one by one. This fox is going to do a good job just kind of knocking them out slowly in that kind of manner. James needs to be careful though. Premium Bow does not care. He's just going to run these toads into these gristmills. One of them's about to go down. Yeah, James has got this fox. You can try to get some damage on. James is a great player. He's got great micro. This fox should stay alive for the remainder of the game. But Premium Bow, you know, the fox fires slowly. What, are you going to kill a few toads here? I've got like 20 of them, man. Who cares? And yeah, he's just going to bludgeon his way into James's base with just an insane amount of toads. And now he's going to start working on this main gristmill. Meanwhile, James is doing a good job with this fox harassment. He's trying to Oh, but he needs to be careful with this fox. Like, what if these toads come out of that warren, right? And just spawn, like, right on that fox and blow it up? I mean, fox down to 16 HP. 2 toad hits will kill it. Man, that blue cat game. I gotta find that game. That was a good game. Very reminiscent. Alright, Premium Bow doesn't have the best economy in the world anymore. But it's kind of mission accomplished at this point. Like, James doesn't have anything left. He's starving. And he doesn't really have anything he can sell. Like, he can sell off the fox warren, but then he doesn't have a fox anymore. And then it's like, what do you got? So, he's going to starve out here, but it looks like he's going to take as many toads as he can with him. It would be cool to see one of these toads blow up and kill this fox. It was Vladlad. Who was the other guy? Yeah, the Fox War game. I forget the other guy's name. But we saw, I haven't seen him lately, but when he was submitting, or when I saw games with him in it, like, he just had the craziest strategies, man. Vladlad, the real MVP, man. He's going to go check it out. I do want to shout that guy out. That game was sick. What a crazy 2v2, man. Just the march of the toads. Alright, guys. Match number 7. Let's get into it. Okay, spawning in the bottom left, we've got Iris. And his opponent to the top, Sky Raider. Alright, we got double fox here. Iris does have a natural base. And a campfire. Actually, 2 campfires. But besides that, the rest of the gristmills on the map seem to belong to Sky Raider. So, it's going to be, if you kind of split the map, you know, maybe like this. Iris has got 2 gristmills and 2 campfires versus Sky Raider's 4 gristmills and 1 campfire. So, if this game goes too long, it will favor Sky Raider eventually. But we'll see. I mean, it's kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, it's kind of misleading to even make statements like that. I'm just kind of filling time as the game gets started. Because most of the time we don't really see those kinds of situations. We see, you know, 2, maybe 3 bases, and a lot of aggression, and you know, most games are kind of settled in between 5 to 10 minutes, when really only the second base, or perhaps getting started on your third base, is relevant. Ultra Fresh, thank you, Vladlad. Yeah, that Ultra Fresh versus Vladlad Fox game was just hilarious. I need to find that and highlight that one, man, so people can check that one out. Like, that was just hilarious, man. I think it got up to over 20 for sure. 20 Fox stats. I don't want to. I can't really say. I don't think it was 25. It was something like 21 or 22. But anyways, guys, Sky Raider moving in with some aggression here. But Iris has plenty to force him back. And Iris is just kind of going for this really bread and butter standard build order. You know, 8 farm, double tier 1 warren, into the skunk. And Sky Raider is going pretty hard on tier 1 for the time being. Maybe he wants to. I think he was going to want to go for a fast expansion here as he's setting this balloon up. And that balloon should help him out against this inevitable push from Iris. Typically, I feel like if you're kind of a new player and you're looking for something to do on the ladder, I feel like a really good build. I would critique Iris here a bit. I mean, not necessarily critique because there's different variants. But, you know, throwing down the ferret warren there, yeah, like, imagine if he didn't throw down the ferrets, he would already have additional squirrels coming. So, yeah, like, a nice, pretty healthy build order, if you're looking for something on the ladder, is like 8 farm, 2 tier 1, tier 2, 2 more tier 1, and then you push out when your both of your tier 2 are done, and then you're moving out, you know, with 12 squirrels, 2 tier 2. And you hit a nice little timing window where if your opponent's going for something like really macroing up on a second base or trying to rush for a fast tier 3 unit or something like that, you can really get in there and punish them. And it doesn't necessarily have to be skunks. Like, I kind of do something similar with Squirrel, Toad, Ferret, to be honest, and it works fairly well. So this balloon from Sky Raider might be a bit unnecessary, but I don't hate it. He just really needs to get a couple more farms established to really warrant its existence, I feel like. But instead, he's going up for a whole bunch of his own tier 2. And Iris is moving out for the big engagement here. Oh, what a beautiful position there of those ferrets. He's right out of the range on those balloons. Sky Raider's got to come in and contest this, or that base is going to go down. Look at this ferret poke, just absolutely beautiful here. And Sky Raider is hesitant about moving out to engage in this because he feels like he's got the inferior army, as he had done things like invested in that balloon, invested into the gristmill and the farm. But Iris comes in with a hard engagement, actually gets right on top of Sky Raider's balloon, target fires that down pretty quickly. Backs out for now. He needs to be careful not to lose his tier 2 units. Yeah, overall, that was a pretty good push for Iris. I think it's always a pretty decent success when you can kind of trade with your opponent, you know, get some damage done and get out of there with your tier 2 units alive. You know, that's a really big piece of the puzzle. Like, not only they're expensive, but they also take a decent amount of time to build, you know. But here we go. Iris is trying to move in again, and you know, nice target fire here from Iris, and Sky Raider really hasn't had his commander in position to target fire, to be honest. He's kind of been using his commander to kind of pull back his army up onto that high ground instead. But the one skunk did go down for Iris anyways. The other skunk is here on the battlefield and gets rocked down immediately, stepped a little bit too far forward. Backs out for now. Now, Sky Raider, as long as he can hold on, like, he's got falcons, which are pretty good against ferrets and skunks, but you know, not if you're constantly getting bludgeoned like this, you know, and you've got squirrels backing you up. Nice job from Iris, you know, just kind of coming in, getting some damage done, and moving out when all of his tier 1 dies to try to keep those tier 2 alive. Like, he hasn't lost any ferrets yet. He keeps bleeding off some skunks, sure, but the ferrets stay alive, so I give him a tip of the hat for that at the very least. Ooh, and this is the engagement that Sky Raider needed. Finally, Iris overextends a little bit. One of the ferrets goes down, and now Sky Raider's in position to start dealing damage to the second base. It's gonna go down indeed, and now Sky Raider's in a great spot. He just needs to back up, you know, maybe plant another farm or two here on this expansion, and keep the pressure on, but, you know, be careful about it. Not, you know, really try not to overextend, but Iris doesn't have a whole lot left, man. He's really, really trying to get these tier 2 out. And keep in mind, Iris does have this campfire over here, so that is helping him out. But even with that campfire, Sky Raider's got the better economy still. So, all right, Iris thinks he's got enough. He's going to move in again and try to deal some damage to Sky Raider here. That skunk gas is doing some pretty good work against all the squirrels on the ground for Sky Raider. And if that falcon falls, that is pretty huge. Oh, 1 HP. It stays alive, and there's no more squirrels left, but all he needs is one squirrel hit. Keeps it alive for now. Good control there from Sky Raider. Yeah, now Sky Raider should be okay. Like, he's 1 farm versus 2. I like the decision from Iris to sell off the skunks. You know, really can't afford 2 tier 2 warrens at the moment. And he's just kind of coming in and poking this gristmill over time. I like that a lot. Like, eventually, he might take that down, but he needs to be careful. Oh, nice pick up there for Sky Raider. Overextends a bit with the ferrets there. But Iris might have a little too much on this re-rally, especially if this falcon goes down. 1 HP, it does indeed. And now this base is wide open, at least for a few seconds, as Sky Raider is remaking his army. Gets on top of this tier 2 warrior and gonna knock that out, and that just simply might be too much damage. The second base falls as well, and Iris takes the match against Sky Raider. Very well played. All right, guys, let's keep things moving. In match number 8 here. Spawning in the bottom, we've got Jed Erickson, project manager behind Tooth and Tail PvP campaign, and his opponent to the left, Vincent. Constant submitter to the show, which I always appreciate. All right, Vincent with no tier 3 here, running a lot of tier 1. I'm a little worried for Jet. Jet's kind of got this nice balanced army here. No defensive structures, but He's got a lot of utility in his deck, I feel like. I don't know if Jet's really going to go for the ferrets, you know, but he's got them there just in case his opponent turtles up really hard. You know, maybe, yeah, he looks like he wants to open. Oh, wow, he's doing a 5-farm double with lizards, but Vincent is doing the same thing. That is hilarious. A little bit of parallel thinking here. So it's going to kind of counter each other out. It's going to be null and void, which is funny because the 5-farm double is designed to punish your opponent for going 8 farms, right? It's just the classic aggressive versus economic opening type deal. And it kind of evens itself out as both players went for the 5-farm double. You know, neither player is really going to be able to do anything about it. And I really like the positioning of Jet's 5-farm double here up on this high ground. Kind of sneaky, right? And now, if you're a good player, when you scout the enemy's base, you should kind of know that's coming anyways. And this is probably not a strategy that these guys had at the deck selection screen. I really think that's it. It's dependent on this map. I mean, look at this rush distance here. Very, very small, which makes this like 5-farm double strategy even stronger than it normally would be on like a medium to large size map. And this map isn't tiny. It's just, you know, most of it's over here without the players. And both players do have a second base option, which is going to be good. You know, Jet gets an easier third than Vincent does. But as I've kind of mentioned before, that might not come into it. And Vincent, though, catches Jet out of position with his commander. He's going to be able to come in here, get a couple pigs, run away. Trades 4 lizards for 2 pigs. I'll take that trade any day of the week. But Jet knows he needs to move in and counterattack right now before those lizards rebuild. And while he's got the lizard advantage, nice target firing attempt there from Jet, but the defender's advantage and the amount of damage that you know was taken on that Warren up front was enough for Vincent to be able to take the upper hand in that engagement. Gentleman saying, you know, he always beats Iris, but never beats Sky Raider. How'd he do it? And then also says Jet's, this is the gateway drug, you know, going for the lizards, man. Dude, it is addictive. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I go through my lizard phases every now and then, and once you start playing with the lizards, it's hard to stop. Like, you just feel so powerful. Like when you have a big, you know, group of lizards running around the map, a big pack of them, you know, just so quick, and you can come in, like, you know, and you just feel so slick. Like if you do some like run around attack like that, you know, and hit your opponent from the backside, knock out a couple farms or snag a warren or something like that, it does feel pretty great. Jet's trying to get up to some skunks, but Vincent is going for that squirrel lizard combination on the back of a campfire and an additional gristmill here. Now Jet's got his own gristmill that Vincent is trying to come in here and attack, but Jet defends very well there. He's just got the superior squirrel numbers and knocks that out no problem. Now Vincent doesn't want this game to drag on forever. I feel like Vincent, oh yeah, he might make a tier 2. I feel like his tier 2 is kind of like utility picks. Like I've got the ferrets if they try to hunker down behind too much defense, and also the snake, you know, to deal with tier 3 in the late game. But I feel like what Vincent wants to do here is go for a big squirrel, lizard, mole, maybe a couple pigeon type push out. But Jet is kind of tucked in pretty tight here. There's a nice transition over to squirrels earlier on once that early game lizard aggression had kind of ceased to be. The skunks don't do super amazing against the lizards, but they don't do bad either. I mean, once the lizards kind of settle on the tile that they're going to fire from, you know, some poison clouds, you know, get established there, can still do a pretty good job. Nice little harassment there from Jet, but taking some hits on that skunk, needs to be careful. Going to retreat those back for now into his territory and resource some health points. And yeah, okay, so Vincent's looking for it, man. He thought maybe Jet might have taken this base. No, he's going to take it himself. Vincent's really just trying to take every base on this map. It's a big money investment, but he's kind of got that peace of mind that Jet doesn't have this hidden base anywhere. And it's going to be easier for him to macro up either later on. And Jet is moving out right when Vincent's coming in to hit his second base. I wonder if we're going to get into a base trade scenario. Yeah, that's why Vincent was taking everything. Duh. He wants the base trade here. And Jet looks like he's taking the bait. He's actually going to move back with just a fraction of his army. try to save his mill. This mill cannot die for Jet, or he'll be out of this game. Nice defense there from Jet. Doesn't quite get ran over. And now he's going to come in with the counterattack. Vincent's got a very healthy economy, but he doesn't really have any units. It looks like Vincent might be conceding, like, okay, I can't go toe-to-toe with Jet's army at the moment. I got to set up shop up top and kind of, you know, let Jet take these bases. But Jet doesn't have an economy. But I don't know if Jet really needs an economy at this point, because he's just got such a very strong standing army. And Vincent doesn't have a whole lot left here. He's going to try to get something done with what he's got, but he doesn't have enough. You know, Jet's even got more lizards than Vincent does at this moment. And that critical, fully saturated second base from Vincent gets knocked out. Jet finds the warm underbelly here from Vincent, this little base he tried to set up top. And now he's going to move in and try to knock this out. And once Jet takes that, I mean, that should basically be game. Vincent's going to try to do the 1-2-1 around yet again. And oh my god, if he actually gets his gristmill, Jet's got nothing left. I think he's got enough lizards to take this gristmill, and indeed he does. Oh man, that's so dirty. You dirty lizard players. All right, I've been looking forward to this one, man. Massive Stealth versus Big Pimpintosh. Let's do it. Okay, spawning to the left, we've got Big Pimpintosh. And his opponent to the top right, Massive Stealth. Gotta give a lot of love for Massive Stealth, man. Developer, big part of the community. He engineered the Pocket World. He engineered the match, man, I'm blanking out on that name. That new thing that shows you all the matches that happen, you know, match board. Yeah, there we go. He covered for the Feast for me on Tuesday night. He's responsible for all these nice graphics that you see here on this channel. But I'm really excited to watch him lose. Let's see if he takes this game or not. Pretty crazy decks coming out for both players. 4 tier 1 here from Big Pimpintosh with a wolf and a mine, and meanwhile Massive Stealth's got that squirrel toad, ferret falcon, and then mine turret. So, you know, both these players really going for the mine style here, which you don't see super often. But again, I don't think it's bad or anything. Kind of interesting, kind of little scouting mine here from Massive Stealth. Gonna try to keep tabs on when Big Pimpintosh takes his bases here. Let me see. I feel like I'm running a little choppy. Huh. I don't know. I gotta buy a new battery for my laptop, man. It's unfortunate. Like, if I unplug it, it just turns off now. Like, I'm at 8% battery, and it's just been plugged in charging all day. But no big deal. I'll get that taken care of. It just feels like I was running a little... looks pretty smooth now. I don't want to give you guys make you guys nauseous moving the camera around too much, but... Okay, so Tosh is opening up straight with toads. That's pretty crazy. You don't see that too often. Gonna get some squirrels in there as well, though. So pretty similar openings from both players so far. They're gonna kind of wind up in the same spot, even though they got there a little bit differently. Massa invested in a couple mines, so that's gonna slow him down a little bit, but it's pretty negligible. And this map does suck pretty hard for Massive Stealth. I'm not gonna lie. All the gristmills are over here. Like, look at this for Tosh, man. Like, you cannot ask for a better spawn than this. I mean, he's got his main base surrounded by 5 gristmills to take. Like, come on, man. I don't even know if those gristmills would even spawn closer to each other than that, right? Like, what, are they separated by like 4 or 5 tiles? Good strategy for Masta here, though. This is exactly what he needs to do. He's trying to get in here and force a contain on his opponent. He's got this squirrel toad composition, which can be pretty powerful. It's going to come down a lot to target firing, though. You really want to make sure you target fired on those toads. A little bit of a miscontrol there from Tosh, allowing a couple of those toads to blow up on the gristmill, but he ends up busting that contain anyways. And from here, Tosh is in a great position. Like, it's rough for Mass itself because, you know, Tosh is in the driver's seat here. You just got to chill and hang out. And And Stealth has really got to figure something out in this game to stay here because, you know, yeah, he's got a couple campfires that are going to help him stay in it for sure in the early game, but he eventually needs to take a gristmill, and he simply can't do that. I unplugged my headphones on accident. Hopefully that didn't translate over the stream somehow. I don't know. I don't think so. So yeah, Bass is aware of this though. He's a good player, so he's coming in here. It looks like he might try to get this gristmill again. But it's rough. He's got some falcons on the way. I wonder if he's going to wait for both. It certainly looks like he's going to wait for at least one. And he might try to set this gristmill up. Now, keep in mind, gristmill tanking isn't as effective as it used to be. But, you know, if Massa can get this gristmill up, he's going to get that territory, helping regen his units. Oh, just loses that falcon immediately, though. That is huge, man. He really needed that falcon there. Yeah, and off the back of losing that falcon, he decides to sell off the gristmill and back out for now. Gonna settle for the campfire. I like this idea a lot for Massa Stealth, actually. If he can get this campfire, he can start setting up a couple turrets here that might help him eventually get this gristmill. But Tosh is moving around for the big flank attack with just a couple lizards over here. He's gonna knock this campfire out. Nice little pickup for Massa Stealth, though. Gonna grab that other gristmill as well, just kind of as a backup plan if the one front doesn't work out. And Tosh is just going to get in there, get that campfire, and get out. No big deal. Nice little pickup there. And the wolf is on the way for Tosh. Now, Tosh's economy isn't through the roof or anything. Like, he's just got 3 farms on that second base. And until recently, Massa's had this campfire going the whole time. And he kind of got this other campfire up fairly, not too long ago. So he's basically been sitting on 9 farms. You know, of course, now that we've hit the 5-minute mark, you know, that's gone down to 5. And this is where Massa's really got to get something done, because the economy advantage here is about to explode for Big Pimpintosh as he's starting to invest more and more farms onto that second base. He's almost got the wolf out. Nice little micro there from the Falcons, but again, just getting picked up there from Tosh. Really can't afford any tier 2 losses like that when you're in Massa's position here. And that high ground, granting high ground vision with that Falcon there is really nice for the Ferrets, but that engagement probably went about as good as it can get for Massa Stealth. But Tosh has just got too much. He had that little choke point. He got some good toe connections. But the wolf is here, man. That wolf's going to buff up those toads, and they're just going to kamikaze in there that much faster. That'd be pretty sweet. But the wolf actually might go down 8 HP. Tosh has got to be careful, man. Definitely doesn't want to lose that wolf. Excuse me. Oh yeah, so Massa did get this base. I don't think Tosh is aware of that either. Kind of snuck one of these 5 gristmills out right from underneath Tosh's nose. And as long as Massa kind of keeps waving the hand over here, like, Tosh has no reason to go scout that out. So that's actually really clever for Massa Stealth. You know, but he needs to be careful to keep Tosh. It's almost like a magician, you know, with sleight of hand or something. You need to keep the direction happening over here, the attention over here, while the good stuff is going on over to the left. But at this point, Tosh has taken too many good engagements, kind of picked off a couple too many tier 2 units throughout the game, and comes in and knocks out Massa. I'm disappointed. Like, that was a good game, but I wanted to rip on Massa a little bit, and I can't because that map was pretty unfavored for him. So I don't blame him. That was rough, man. When you don't have access to like a second base at all, that's like the only time I'll call a map imba. But it's not impossible, man. We've seen guys win from those positions for sure. Massa just needed to execute that one base all in a little more effectively. Really, if that first gristmill that Massa was trying to take actually got up and he started developing a contain, he could have possibly won the game from there. 9:40. All right, we got time for a few more. I got to check on something real quick. I apologize, guys. It shouldn't take me more than about a minute or two, so don't go anywhere. I will be right back. Okay, sorry about that. Just got something in the oven. Okay, where are we at? Game number 10 here. I was gonna do a few more, but I don't think I'm going to, man. I'm starting to get a sore throat. Being hyped up and talking nonstop for a couple hours gets to me. But we still got 3 more tonight, guys. I appreciate everybody tuning in, as always. And keep those submissions coming in, man. And I will prioritize. There was only a couple of unique submitters I didn't get to tonight, so we'll definitely get to you guys on Tuesday. Let's hop into it, man. Match number 10. Okay, spawning on the left, we've got Surge. Or maybe Sergey. And his opponent to the right, Philothanic. Wasn't Sergey the name of the main character of Chrono Cross? I think so. I remember when I was a little kid, I used to always call him Surge. We are proud of the 12 we get, says Valeris. You're the man, Valeris. I appreciate it. Alright, where are we at with this game? Philothanic, 3 tier 1, 3 tier 2. Surge with more of a traditional deck selection, you know, spread. I like it. I think Surge's deck is pretty strong overall, even post-patch. I mean, Falcon and Boar got HP reduction a little bit. Turret, yeah, they do a bit less damage, but I haven't really noticed it a whole lot, to be honest, tonight. I think turrets are still a top pick, you know, to fill that defensive spot. I feel like turrets just pair so well with ferrets, man. Like, if you're going to run ferrets, you should probably pick up MGs for sure. And if you're not going to pick up MGs, then definitely balloons. But balloons are just... balloons have their place. I just feel like MGs are more of a Swiss Army knife. Like, I feel like MG is good against, like, every unit besides the ferret, right? But you have ferrets if you're running ferret MGs, so... Ooh, Surge with a pretty fast expansion here. Let's see how Philothanic's going to respond. Now, Philothanic's going to scout this out very quickly. As I say that, he doesn't. Oh, man. Caster Curse for the win. He needs to scout that Surge is going for the second base, man. Yeah, now he sees it. That's an incredibly early second base. We're almost, like, just now we're hitting the 2-minute mark, so... Oh, Protocam with the cheer. Oh, wait, I think I fixed... Ah, man, I might have missed it. Did the cheer notification look better? Was it actually... Yeah, okay. Yep, I see it on my monitor. Sweet. Yeah, there was some, like, conditional cheer things that kind of made it look like crap beforehand. I think it looks better now, so I do appreciate the support, man. Thanks for the bits, and... thanks for Sep for subscribing, man. Super awesome. You guys are the best. All right, so Philothanic, tech switching here. He's going to go for the ferrets. Yeah, okay, cool. I'm glad that the bit thing looks better now. My goal I have 2 goals this weekend. Goal number 1 is finishing my editing on the YouTube. I've been trying to put a lot of work into that, creating playlists, getting everything up there, you know, cutting out the intros so on the YouTube video it just goes right into it. Instead of that 10-minute intro, you know, on the VOD. And then I want to make my like follower and donation alert stuff a little bit better. I think they look pretty good. I want to put in some Hopper voice lines, man. Like, I like the one where she's saying she needs more food. It reminds me, she's like, I need more sneaks. Like snacks, you know, sneaks. I want that one. I think that's a good one. All right, Philothanic's moving out with some ferrets against this turret wall. Now, he doesn't have high ground vision, but he can just kind of run up with his commander like that, yeah. Ooh, but he needs to be careful. A little bit of miss micro there. Loses the ferret. That's actually huge for Surge. And now, Philothanic, though, still's got enough to come in here. Great engagements with those toads there, man. I'm telling you guys who don't believe me about toads, man, I think toads are good. I'm going to prove you guys all wrong. I'm like putting words in people's mouths. Like, where are these people that are virulently against the toads? You know, somebody's gotta play devil's advocate in the chat, man, and be like, no, Delthius, you're wrong. Toads suck. So I can have like an enemy in this fake argument that I'm making up here. But Philothanix keeping the aggression on, man. These turrets are helping out a little bit, but against the ferrets, against the toads, they're gonna eventually fall. But Philothanix might have overextended there a bit with the squirrels, and Surge does hold fairly nicely. The Falcon's gonna do a good job of zoning back these ferrets. Like, if you're a new player and you're having trouble against ferrets on the ladder, and, you know, ferrets don't really catch your eye, you don't really want to build your own ferrets or something, Falcons are a great answer to ferrets. You kind of get into this micro war where, you know, they push their ferrets forward, you push your Falcons forward to kind of counter that and force the ferrets to get pushed back again. So that's always cool to see. We saw that a little bit in the first match that me and Andy casted a couple shows ago. Nice target firing here from Philothanix, trying to get up on those Falcons, and indeed he does. And now this might be too much damage from Surge. I've actually been really impressed with Surge. I think he handled this game really well, and I don't recognize Surge's name. That doesn't mean he's a new player. I just personally haven't seen him around. But I think he held his own pretty well. I mean, Philothanix been around forever, man. With some nice aggression there with a nice push out, Philothanix takes the match. Oh, you know what? I do need to fix that. I need to fix that toad skin. You're right. You're right. That toad skin's bad. Well, it's okay. I don't mean it like that. Like, the toad skin's cool, but somebody at one point pointed out to me, like, the way that it's colored kind of makes it stand out less. So I do actually want to put a different toad skin on. Do I have any other toad skins? I don't know. I'll have to look. I don't know why I'm looking right now, like, while the stream is live, because I'm a terrible host. Where's my big skin folder? I'm curious, like, are there any other toad skins that people have made? I don't think so. Kind of looking at my big bag of skins at the moment. I mean, it's a good skin. I like the toad skin. But it doesn't make them stand out that much. It might be kind of harder to see them. Mishi. Toads are good, man. What was the game where we saw some sick toad play? I want to say it was Vlad Lad vs. Vincent. Like, I almost want to pull that up just to show Mishi. I think toads are good. Anyways, guys, I was thinking about doing a little bit extra tonight, but I don't think I will because my starting to get a sore throat from talking so much. But I'm excited. We're gonna end on some fantastic matches here. All four of these guys are super high-level players. We got Swifty, Jet Erickson, Valeris, and Sky Raider to end the night out. Let me grab another beer, guys. 1 second. Man, what a good night. Got a couple beers here. Got some great tooth and tail matches. Got all my nerds in the chat. It's fun stuff, man. It's always a pleasure hanging out with you guys. I don't know. Toads are good, but I think the issues with toads are when they overkill, and then if your opponent target fires them down, right? So I don't know. I need to experiment more with the new patch. See how well they do. Anyways, guys, game number 11. Okay, spawning on the left, we've got Swifty. And his opponent to the right, Jet Erickson. All right. I like this build from Swifty. This is kind of old school Swifty, I feel like. The Fox turret balloon, like, he was kind of giving me, every now and then I hit up you high level players and I get coached a little bit. I get a couple notes, you know, Mishi's done it, Gentleman's done it, Swifty's done it. And Swifty kind of really broke down this like turret balloon fox style that I like a lot because I am a fox player myself. But Swifty is like too greedy with his foxes. I don't know if he's still doing that, but I would not be surprised to see Swifty just go straight 8 farm fox because he's a madman like that. But the turret balloon is kind of there from a meta. I mean, I don't mean anything bad by this, but it was like this meta that existed when Badger was super OP. Before Badger got that nerf where they can't keep the rev up going by targeting commanders. So I want to say that was like January or February, and the game kind of devolved down to like, we're gonna tier 3 rush. You know, what was meta was tier 3 rushing the Badger because the Badger was just super strong. But the Fox kind of countered the Badger, so you'd see players also going for the Fox as well. So it was kind of like this Fox Badger meta where everybody was rushing tier 3. And this turret balloon style was super awesome because it was an answer to that tier 3 rush, because there will be these moments, especially if you get the right spawn, where you're kind of on the high ground and you've got like one entrance to your base, where you can rush a tier 3 unit and just not get punished. Like your opponent could go for an all-in and they still would not be able to break you if you had some good turret placements, things of that nature. And one of the guys, I don't know why I always forget this player's name. I don't think he's active anymore, but he was like a Grandmaster StarCraft 2 player. But he had really, somebody in the chat, please let me know. You're going to know who I'm talking about, like right when I say it. Like he did the wolf, fox, ferret style. He was very good with it. But yeah, so we were kind of in this like fast tier 3 meta, and Swifty, I'm not sure if he's the one who necessarily figured it out, but he kind of made me hip to it anyways, that like, oh, if your opponent does go for that super fast tier 3 like everybody's doing, you know, you can contain them with turrets and balloons, and then the balloons will just hard counter the tier 3. You can win the game from there. Careful, dude, Team Red is killing it. Gentlemen, they're talking about the Pocket World in the chat a little bit. You guys are slacking, man. Dude, Valeris is a monster. Hasn't he racked up like 40 points for Team Red or something? I'm disappointed because my wins have not been counting because I don't have that Discord app downloaded, which I definitely need to do. So far, nothing crazy this game. Yeah, Swifty is the first one to go for that tier 3. He does like getting his fast fox out, and he's got this nice little position set up defensively to do so. He went for that campfire, but some good micro, some good game sense here from Jet. Jet's already kind of starting the siege, and now we're in a little bit of this ferret war going on, and Jet's kind of trying to plant his own balloon on the ground. And these are both like really strong defensive positionings here from both players, because this single balloon from Jet, I mean, it's going to cover all these bases, and likewise for Swifty, his balloon covers these bases. So we're in a pretty good spot. Like, this map is actually pretty even. If anything, maybe no, it's definitely favored towards Jet, because Jet has the high ground here, and Jet's also got this campfire in the bottom. We might not really even see that come into play. I mean, don't even worry about this grist mill. Nobody will take that. It's just 2 in the middle. But yeah, I mean, relatively even. Both players have access to a second and a third base, but I definitely give the map to Jet, as he's got that high ground. High ground's very, very important in Tooth and Tail, especially when you're a Fox player. Like, this is rough for Swifty. I'm almost surprised he didn't tech out of this Fox, you know, after seeing that Jet's got the balloon up. Like, he knows the balloon's up, right? Oh, wow, he might not know that balloon's up. Swifty hasn't really gone up high enough on the double high ground yet to see that balloon. Oh, that might be huge. Oh, I'm going to feel so bad for Swifty. It's going to hurt my little Fox heart, man. If he runs up, and it's a double balloon too, man. Oh, no. That would be really cool to see, though, for the sake of the show. Like, imagine if Swifty just runs his Fox up here, and then both those balloons just bang, bang, and knock it out. Oh, man, it could happen. Okay, now he sees it. Okay, that makes sense. The commander leading. But Swifty's still managing to get some value. His own balloon giving him some nice high ground vision there. Picks up a couple tier 1 units. Oh, man, I was worried for Swifty. He was lucky that he put on those brakes there, man. Oh, red doesn't have that many players, huh? Yeah, but we have like really quality players on red, man. Who do we got? We got Valeris, we got Mishi, we've got Amari. I'm playing for red. I haven't scored any points though, because I don't have that Discord app downloaded. I need to do that. This is rough for Swifty here. I mean, he's got this Fox, but really can't get a whole lot done with it. Now, the Fox is not totally null and void in this position. It's still going to benefit Swifty when Jet moves out for a big hard engagement, but I'm favoring Jet's position here. You know, Swifty really wanted to get some crippling damage done over time with this Fox, and look at this. Jet just moves his army back. You know, he sets up a couple balloons to basically make it where this Fox has no angle. It can come in here and get anything done. You know, both players have fully saturated up their second bases at this point at a fairly similar time frame. It looks like Swifty actually got his second base up and running a little bit sooner. But now Jet's just got to chill, man. He's got the Owl, and he's already got 2 on the way. I'd like to see him get that count up to 3 or 4. And at that point, Swifty is going to have a hard time dealing with the army from Jet here. I feel like, you know, a good answer to the Owl might be something like Falcons, but there's no Falcons here for Swifty. So yeah, I mean, the onus is really on Swifty to get something done here. And I don't think he really even realizes that, because he hasn't seen any tier 3 from Jet Erickson. You know, he's not going to really know until it's too late. And even if he did know, like, what is he going to do about it? Maybe try to all in up this high ground. But that would be difficult. I mean, the skunks are there. Those are going to do very well against the squirrels, right? Mishi says Jet wins for squirrels. The Owls are going to roll over them. Yeah, I agree. I think from here, Jet is in the dominating spot. I would be really impressed with Swifty if he can think something up. Now, the one thing Swifty does have going for him is he got this third base up and running much, much faster than Jet. But Swifty's deck isn't really designed for this hyper late game. You know, the Foxes, you know, people kind of cry about the Fox a lot, but the Fox has its strengths and weaknesses, man. I mean, there's a lot of units that straight hard counter the Fox. And the Fox just really doesn't scale into the late game. The Fox is almost like this Dark Templar style unit, you know. Does a lot of damage. It can be really annoying, but overall, you know, other units are going to outclass it, especially something like the Owl. And what's even worse for Swifty is he doesn't even have any like sneaky paths he can go up. Like, there's no ramp right here, for example, for him to kind of swing around this way. The best he could do is try to swing in here, but that's in balloon range. Like, these 2 balloons, you really got to hand it to Jet, man. Like, the positioning of these 2 balloons is absolutely phenomenal. They really just cover Jet's entire base and gives him this nice vision. Like, he's gonna know the second Swifty decides to move out. And I still don't think Swifty is aware of the Owls yet. All right, here we go. Swifty trying to move in, but now he knows that the Owls are here. But it's a little too late. These Chameleons are actually doing a great job tanking all those mice on the front line, and Swifty is starting to break through. He got that 1 balloon down. He can kind of shift his army away from this other balloon, but no, man, he's got so much tier 1. He breaks through, and Swifty is in a dominating position at this point. Now, those 3 Owls are still alive. You know, Swifty really needs to get in there with his Kasha and try to target fire some of those down. But he needs to be careful, too. That's the thing with the Kasha, man. It's easy to say target fire it down, but most of the time your priority is keeping it alive, man. You can't be target firing and defensively microing at the same time. But one of the Owls does go down. What a fantastic push out from Swifty. We even had guys like Mishi in the chat saying there's no way. Toads need to be unaffected by water. I love it! Dude, yes. We have to recommend that. Oh no, the Fox steps too far forward and goes down, though. That's a huge blow for Swifty, but he's already got a lot of damage done here. Those Owl Warrens are knocked out. This 1 Owl is at 2 HP, though. Swifty really needs to finish that Owl off. And now Swifty's risking overextending here. Yeah, Jet's going to stabilize. Man. I feel like I'm being a biased caster. Like, that's a really nice hold from Jet. But I kind of just naturally root for the underdog. I feel like Swifty was in a worse position there, so I got like really hyped as he started breaking through this. But I think the nail in the coffin for him there, man, was when the Fox went down. But dude, on the more important things, yes, dude. Let us start a petition, man. Toads should be unaffected, have unaffected movement in water. I agree with that 100%, man. Dude, it's actually a really good idea. I don't think Andy will go for it, though, because I've talked to him about that kind of thing before. And he's just really hesitant on making any, like, environmental changes. Like, I know we were all, like, really hyped up about otters back in the day, especially in the alpha and stuff. And, you know, this idea of, like, units, you know, interacting differently in the water and stuff. But at the same time, if you think about it, like, flying units are already like that, right? So you're basically granting the toad kind of like the immunity that flying units get, but just in the water, man. And it makes sense because they're amphibian. I like this idea. Yeah, I agree with the gentleman. I don't think it would, like, make the toad super amazing or anything. It probably wouldn't affect most games, but it would be a fun little change for sure. There definitely would be some situations, though, man, that could make for some cool matches where, like, the enemy's trying to retreat through some water, you know, with a whole bunch of squirrels or something, and your toads get up on them and blow them all up. Like, that'd be awesome. Very well played by Jed Erickson there. Nice attempt from Swifty, man. He almost had it, but losing that Fox was just too much, man. I feel like if he kept that Fox alive, he could have kept the pressure up and possibly taken that game. Great job from Jet, though. Okay, guys, last match of the night. It's going to be a good one here. Once again, as always, I appreciate everybody tuning in. Don't forget about Tooth and Tail Season 2 League going on. If you are in the league, make sure to get those matches knocked out before next Friday. Sign up for Pocket World, man. Be a part of that. Oh, you know what? You know what? Let's check up on Pocket World. Where are we at? What is this button? Has it changed any? Is red still dominating? I think it's live. I don't think I need to refresh it. Red's not going as hard as we were. What do the 1, 2, and 3 means? Oh, yeah, okay, so that's just kind of tougher territory. Oh, maybe... If somebody knows how that works in the chat, man, let me know. It's just kind of reinforced territory, perhaps? Yeah, Valeris with 42 wins. Really cool to see. Yeah, Red's team is not that high. I need to get my name up there, man. You need to have the Discord app to be able to participate. A lot of people on yellow. Sky Raider. Okay, so who are the champions? So Valeris is the red champion. I believe the 5th is the green champion. Wow. That's really cool, man. I believe the 5th has been around for a while. I see him all the time in the chat. I see a lot of his replays. But, man, that's impressive. Is he in the league? It doesn't look like it. Oh, no, yeah, he's in Group B. We might be able to expect better things from him. For sure. Maybe he'll be one of those guys that claws way back into Group A. So you got Sky Raider dominating for yellow. And, of course, the gentleman for the civilized, not the civilized, the long coats. 48 wins. So, gentlemen, man, look at Valeris and gentlemen compared to everybody else, though. Like, 42, 48. Like, that's nuts. Like, the closest besides that is Kerpa at 28. Yeah, we need some recruits, man. Red and blue. Blue's actually got less players than red does, so definitely sign up, man. It's super easy. Just go to Bot Playground, type !team, whatever color you want, preferably red or blue. Kind of help even things out a little bit. You might as well. I mean, it's just for fun, and you don't have to do it. Like, all you have to do is type in !team, whatever color, and then you're done. And then just go back to laddering, have fun. So, anyways, guys, let's do one more match tonight. Call it a night. Each time you refresh it, it goes back to the start. The points are fortifications. Oh, I see. I gotcha. I wonder what determines, like, when you win a game, if you fortify a territory or if you attack an opponent's territory. I see Master Stealth in the chat. He'd probably chime in on that. But okay, guys, last match of the night. Let's hop into it. If anybody wants to stream some Tooth and Tail, man, now's the time to get your stream rolling, and I'll hit you with that host once we're done here shortly. I'm hyped for this match. This is actually team leader of red versus team leader of yellow here. Sky Raider versus Valeris. Let's get into it. Okay, spawning in the bottom, we've got Sky Raider. So, and over to the left, we got Valeris. So do losses? I see gentlemen kind of trolling in the chat, telling newbies to sign up for red. Do losses matter? Well, I guess, like, I understand. Okay, if a yellow player beats a red player, then that's good for yellow. But if a red player loses, is that bad for red in general? If that makes sense. Like, imagine if a red player lost to somebody, let's say, who's not registered on Pocket World. Does that negatively affect the red team? It depends on the enemy. If they aren't signed up for Pocket World, you fortify weakened defenses. Oh, okay. All right, Sky Raider opening with a 6 farm more in here. And meanwhile, Valeris looks pretty standard so far. Is he going to go up to, yeah, he's going to 7 farm more. Now, did he scout the, okay, yeah, that's the correct move. Typically, oh, wow, no, Valeris decides to be a little more greedy there and go for the 8 farm. I feel like that's the right play. Like, if you see your opponent go 5 farm more in, you want to go 6 farm more in, because you'll kind of have enough to defend and still be a little bit ahead economically. If someone participating wins or loses, it will affect the map in some way regardless of the opponent's massive stealth. Okay, interesting. I was under the impression that only wins mattered, but apparently losses matter as well. It's kind of cool that, like, none of the top level players flock to the same team, you know? Like, we've got them spread out kind of everywhere, which is pretty nice. You know, we got like Chip, who's green, and Gentleman, who's blue. And we got a couple great guys on red: Valeris, Amari, Mishi. Yellow's got Andy. No, Chip's yellow. What am I saying? I keep assuming Chip picked KSR because he's like always running KSR. Yeah, Chip is yellow. I was wrong, but I caught myself pretty quickly, so I'm happy about that. All right, so again, man, Sky Raider with this fast balloon. I wonder what the mindset is behind that. Like, oh, interesting. Like, maybe because ferrets are relatively popular at the moment, the balloons kind of do a good job of zoning back the ferrets from your expansion. But I mean, that's a really big investment to make. I feel like, you know, throwing down a balloon so early. And Valeris with a nice little runaround attack here. Gonna come in with some lizards, get some serious damage done to the ferrets, but Sky Raider, on the other hand, is gonna move in and knock out a couple of his opponent's ferrets, so still a nice trade for Valeris, but he lost a tier 2 in the process. And Sky Raider is gonna move in with some more aggression here, but he might be overextending. Nice kind of emergency turrets coming up from Valeris. That's how you use defense, man. You know, kind of build him at the last second and watch. Like, once this attack is done, Valeris should sell those turrets off. Don't make me look bad. There we go. Yep, that's it. That's exactly how it's done, man. If you're a new player, definitely take notes this game for sure. Like, you just kind of want to build that defense clutch and then sell it off. And as you can see, Sky Raider kind of changed his mind on that balloon opening. So maybe I was over-analyzing it a little bit. But I think that's kind of Sky Raider's, you know, we've seen him do that a couple times tonight where he would, you know, open up with that natural expansion and throw a balloon there. And I think the purpose of the balloon is just to cover the base from the opponent's ferrets, because I think ferrets are a pretty popular pick at the moment. I think it's a pretty safe assumption. to assume your opponent has ferrets in their deck, right? And maybe try to play around that a little bit. But certainly not everybody runs them. They're not like this must-have unit. Nice little aggression here from Skyraider. He keeps picking up ferrets left and right. But I'm a little bit worried, kind of as we saw in that game with Amari earlier, where, you know, Skyraider's doing well. He's putting on a lot of pressure, but he never retook those 2 farms that he lost earlier, so he's just kind of playing at a deficit, man. And yeah, he's getting some decent damage done, but I don't know if it's going to be enough, man. Like, he's down a few farms here. That's a big deal. Oh, wow, he lost 3 farms there, but he's starting his second base going, so that's pretty good. And Valerius doesn't really have a good second base option here, so Valerius is probably going to try to keep pushing the issue and maybe try to end this off of 1 base play. Really great ferret micro so far, but some nice counter micro from Skyraider as well. I know for sure he's killed 2 ferrets off, maybe even 3 or 4. And gonna keep the pressure going here on that second base for Skyraider. Valerius is moving in with these lizards. The lizards should trade fairly well against the squirrels, as he's got several of these lizards here to help him out. This gristmill gonna fall. Absolutely huge pickup here for Valerius, and from there, he's just gonna run back, regroup, and try to determine what he wants to do next in this game. Mishi, you have no idea, man. I've been caster cursed like 4 times tonight at least. Okay, Valerius trying to take the second base. But that's kind of a win more base, I feel like. I mean, if Valerius can actually start comfortably mining off this base, that's probably too much. I don't think Skyraider, you know, Skyraider's force in his presence out on the map would just have to be so small for Valerius to hold on to the space, I feel like. But we're at the 6-minute mark, so you got to do something. If you know, you got to try to expand for sure. So I don't mind Valerius taking that base. Let's see, man. Ooh, these ferrets not picking up any kills there. Great micro so far from Skyraider, but every now and then he bleeds off a squirrel or 2. Nice from Valerius there, barely keeping that 1 ferret alive. And now we're starting to get into Scarvation, man. What a super scrappy game. Just neither player is really being able to comfortably take another base. Now, Valerius does have enough money. He needs to throw that down now before another lizard gets made. Beautiful. So he's not going to be starving, but Skyraider will be starving soon. And oh, this high ground is so brutal. And Skyraider's not even home, so okay, only loses 1 squirrel. That could have been a lot worse. I think Valerius has got it from here, man. I gotta nudge Skyraider to submit some replays, man. We just seen him getting rocked tonight. But no, that's not really fair to say. Skyraider played very well this game. He actually had some fantastic micro against these ferrets, and you know, managed to take out a couple of them, which is a pretty big deal. But the big turning point here was really, I feel like, when the lizard run by. Got those 3 farms from Skyraider. And yeah, Skyraider had a nice response to that. He had a really nice counter push and got some damage done, knocked out some ferrets. But, you know, we kind of had that position where Skyraider was 5 farms to 8 for a little while. And it's like, yeah, you're getting some damage done, but my income is almost twice, you know, of what yours is. So I can afford to take a couple punches and be okay. And here we go. Skyraider trying to come in and get something done. Great micro with the units that he's got. But both players kind of running out of steam. Oh, is he going to get the ferret? Fantastic play. Skyraider might actually have this. It's super close, but maybe Valerius just has barely too much. 1 farm each. Just a couple units each here. Yeah, that pressure on the high ground was too much from Valerius. Skyraider taps out. Valerius takes the match. Okay, guys, that's it for the show tonight. I hope everybody had a blast. If I didn't get to your replay tonight, man, we will definitely get you going on next Tuesday night. Make sure you sign up for that Pocket World, guys. Make sure you sign up for the TNT PvP campaign. I haven't really looked into that, but we need a good... I'm telling you guys, like, so much work is being put into that. This might be... I mean, I don't want to, you know, sound brass or anything like that, but, you know, probably more work is going into this Tooth and Tail PvP campaign than we've ever seen in any tournament ever in the Tooth and Tail scene. So make sure you guys sign up for this. I'm trying to see... I might not be able to find him. I'm trying to see if I can find like a sign-in sheet. I might have to check in with Jed Erickson, but I think we do have pretty good participation. So definitely that's going to be dope. And he's got a couple prizes lined up too. He's got some Steam keys for some games he's going to be giving away. Yeah, there's like 30 people in the PvP campaign Discord. So if you're not sure how to get involved, man, look underneath the stream page. In the events section, there's a link to the PvP campaign. That's going to be a lot of fun, man. That's going to be next weekend, so it's coming up, guys. It's going to be here before you know it. So hit that ladder, guys. Take over some territory for your team faction on Pocket World. Send me some more replays, and I will see you guys next week. Let us find somebody to host. Dude, Mishi says, wow, you got so many replays on the new patch. Dude, I got more than this, man. I think I got nearly 30 submissions. Like, it's been pretty awesome lately. Okay, I found somebody. We got Nerd Happily here, you guys. Let's go raid Nerd Happily here. Give her a big TnTTV hello. I don't know. It looks like she might be playing the campaign. I don't know. Maybe a new player here. Let's go say hi, guys. Take care, everybody. And I will see you guys next week.